The Cadison Neptune Diver C8210 is inspired and a homage to Rolex Yachtmaster 40mm. It is a Rolex series that is very distinct from the Subby. More curves on the case and glowing sunbursts on the dial. Cadison Neptune conveys that message with its own spin on the timepiece. I think it adds quite significant practical touches to the case as well as the bracelet, and we'll talk about that as we go through the review. So here we get a self-winding automatic movement with 41 hours of power reserve, solid stainless steel case, water resistance of 100 meters, finally a Cyclops that has the 2.5 times magnification, anti-reflective coating and sapphire crystal as well. There's a solid stainless steel bracelet with screws, not push pins. It also gets a 120 click unidirectional chronograph bezel. The $65 price tag that we get with this watch is almost too good to be true, but I will be leaving a link to the listing I got this watch from in the description below the video. So make sure to check it out if you want a sharp price, because I do look out for sharp pricing on AliExpress. The prices do vary quite significantly between the different online stores, so getting a sharp price and a good deal is quite important, because I mostly buy these watches myself. And now let's keep going with the review of the Caddy Neptune Diver. The original watch was thinner at just 11.5 millimeters. On the Caddy we get 13 millimeters, still quite thin against my wrist. It has a sporty look. The wide bezel, unique reflections against the lean and sculpted case are striking and interesting. Dimensions of the case are 40 millimeters diameter. The lug-to-lug length is 53 millimeters due to the protruding male end links. We get a lug-to-lug width of 20 millimeters, which tapers down to 17 millimeters at the clasp. The height of the watch is just 13 millimeters. The weight of the watch is 150 grams after I've removed 2 links from either side to fit my 6.5-inch wrist. We get polished case walls. On top, the fine satin brushing pulls us closer to the sporty aesthetic. This is further accented by the sandblasted bezel with polished numerals and indices. The polished bezel edge has wide threading with rounded edges. Even though it's rather smooth, it's still grippy enough for comfortable rotation of the bezel. Considering the different brushing styles, we now have very distinctive layers of the watch. The layers are clearly defined and there is more flirting with the reflections on the case. On the right, we get a polished screw-in signed crown. It's guarded and quite hefty in size. It gets deep threading that allows for comfortable time and date adjustments. On the underside, there's a stainless steel screw-down case back. The only decorations are the specs on the perimeter of the back. Considering the price point of just 65 bucks, the bracelet here and the clasp specifically are definitely a pleasant surprise. Firstly, if we look at the transition from the end link to the bracelet body, it's almost seamless. The links get an even lateral brushing, once again diverging from the original, in that the Yachtmaster center links were polished. Personally, the brushed link design sits better with me, simply because the brushed design actually disguises the signs of wear and tear much better than polished surfaces, and it just looks less extravagant. All surfaces on the bracelet are even, the edges are smooth, the sides are polished. No trace of unfinished surfaces here, even on the inside. The links get relatively tight tolerances, and most importantly, it's not clunky nor dingy. There's a solid heftiness to it. The clasp is milled and signed, and of particular pleasure is that we get the fly style adjustment design. It's refined, easy to use, so much more so than micro adjustments. With this clasp design, you get 1/2 inch adjustment or about 1.5 links worth of bracelet length adjustments in just 5 seconds. That's all it takes to adjust this bracelet length. The only slight negative that I found with the actual clasp is that the bevels are, I can't say they're sharp, but there are some rather sharpish edges around. It's not nail breaking, it's not scratching, but still, I think that the bevels could have been just slightly, ever so slightly, better rounded and smoothed over. And now to the dial. There are 4 dial colors available with this watch: blue, coral red or orangey, white and gray. I fell for this grey sunburst effect and the turquoise lollipop seconds pointer gliding above it. The combination of blue on grey is so classy, contrasty and unique. I think it really brings this dial to life. The indices are applied with fat dabs of lume and edged in chrome. The Minitrack is right up there at the edge of the dial, just under the Rihoe. And the Rihoe here actually surprises us because it has the Cadisen brand name engraved in it all around the circumference of the Rihoe. That is maybe not very original, but you just wouldn't expect it at a sub $100 timepiece. The minute and hour hands are in Mercedes style, also covered with Superluminova. The lume test has shown some good results. The longevity exceeded expectations, as well as that the evenly applied lume across the indices and hands looked very nice indeed. What you will notice is that the lume is bright blue, and that goes in line with the blue/turquoise lollipop seconds pointer. At the 3 o'clock position, we get a date window. The Cyclops managed to hit the nail on the cap with bang on 2 to 2.5 times magnification. So far, so good. Now let's talk about the crystal. So we do get sapphire crystal here. On top of that, we do get anti-reflective coating as well. And we can see that in almost any light conditions, this dial looks very legible indeed. Something to point out is that the Cyclops is not sapphire, rather plain mineral glass. And considering it sticks out, take a guess where the first scratches will land. In regards to the bezel, the C8210 gets a 120 click unidirectional bezel. Even though the edge is polished, the grooves are deep and rotation of the bezel is unhindered. The bezel action is even with due resistance, the sound is crisp and balanced. There is some play between clicks, but it's not major and does not spoil the experience. As you rotate the bezel here, it sounds good, there is due resistance, it feels right. In regards to the movement, we do get Seiko's NH35 here. This is a self-winding automatic movement. It is rather accurate. The variance is around the -20 to +40 seconds per day. It is actually a hackable movement, meaning that when you do set the time, the seconds hand stops. It takes 55 manual turns of the crown to fully wind the watch. But considering the watch does get Seiko's magic lever, all you need to do is shake the watch side to side and the movement should start. As an overview, what can I say? This is one of the most striking Yachtmaster homages in my collection, especially the turquoise blue, a lollipop seconds hand. That is super special. In regards to the logo, the brand name, the model name, everything is printed on this dial. And what I do like is that it's white, it's contrasty to the gray dial, but the actual model name, the Neptune series, it's also in the blue that you get with the seconds pointer. This is a great watch, looks amazing, it feels much more expensive than the price paid. And as I've mentioned, I did leave a link to the listing I got this watch from in the description below the video, so check it out if you want a sharp price. Thanks for watching this review. If you have enjoyed it, please drop me a like. If you want to see more of the same, please make sure to hit that red subscribe button as well. And I'll see you in the next one.